Hey gang, Zippo. Before we plug in the pretty new rectifier, we're going to check and make sure that the stator's okay. And it's a simple enough task. Right now I'm on volts. What I want to know is, I want to be sure that I'm delivering 12 volts out of the center post. So, sorry, tight quarters here. I'm just going to poke the center post just like that, and then I'm going to just touch the ground. Let's touch the engine. There we go. We have our battery voltage, so we know that that part's good. Now we're going to come to the outsides and we're going to do an ohm test. Let me get the audible up here. Okay, what we're looking for is all zeros, point, negligible numbers. You just want all zeros before the point. Okay, so let me show you here. I'm just going to touch these two together, and you can see here we've got 3 zeros and then a point, and it just keeps dropping down. It'll eventually get to 0. But we're not going to sit there and wait on that, because that's not what we're testing. Now we're going to probe the two outside leads here and here. This green wire that is in the way, we'll see if we can't tuck that sucker under there. There we go. So now all we're going to do is just probe these two. That's one. And then we'll probe the other side. As you can hear, my tester is going off. You may or may not be able to hear it. Now let's look at our numbers. What have we got? That is a good stator. I wanted to be sure, thanks to E-Rock, that my stator is good before plugging in the new regulator rectifier. So we've got the new regulator rectifier in. We're going to plug it in. Then when I start the engine, I'm going to start the engine with a 10 amp fuse, low amperage fuse. So if you guys remember, here's our old one, bad. Went with an aftermarket, and this one's actually labeled. Let's see if I can get it to where, yeah, there you go. You can see it. So you have AC, AC.
I'm listening.
No, Siri, I don't want you right now. I'm not sure I understand. Okay, that's fine. Goofy Siri, get off of there. Come on, quit. Wow. At least I'm still recording. Okay, so you can see the center one has a positive symbol on it, and then you have AC and AC, and that's what you want. And then it also shows positive stamped right there on that one. You can get the light right so you can see it. But anyway, we're going to plug that sucker in, get it mounted, start the engine on 12. That tab's just a little bent. There we go. Start the amp with a, or start the tractor with a 10 amp fuse. And we're going to check our battery voltage before and after we start it. We'll just keep the voltage regulator on there. You don't have much room to get that sucker plugged in. Alright, we've got her almost plugged in. We've got to get this side in just a little more. Boy, that's tight. Well, I guess it's good, right? Tight's good. Who wants loose, right? Okay. Reminds me of a few jokes, but this is a G-rated channel. And I'm going to run my bolts in. After I run my bolts in and get those tightened up, we're going to reposition the camera, get the voltmeter on the battery, and we'll take a look at what our battery voltage is before. We'll start it and see what our battery voltage is after and see if that regulator rectifier is doing its job. So hang on. Alright gang, here we go. Let's see what our static battery voltage is over here. Let me restart this. It's been sitting for a little while. And hopefully I'm not feeling too confident by putting the heat shroud on. But you can see here we have 12.61 volts. Now with a 10 amp fuse in, we're going to start it and see what our voltage is. And there's no real good place to sit this where you can see it. So I'll bring it back up into view. 3, 2, 1, contact. Well, that's that. I've got to warm it up so I can get the engine up to operating temperature and get the oil changed in it. I already put the new air filter in, got some other maintenance to do to it, and it's currently kind of really yucky, rainy, nasty out. But we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of mowing anyway. And before I forget, I'll throw that 20 amp fuse in there like it's supposed to have. And I feel no heat on that fuse, none, which is awesome because we don't want heat on that fuse. I don't know if I already said it, also get the regulator or the relay and the fuse secured back down where they need to be. But let's get this sucker outside, engage the clutch, do everything that a normal mower would do, and see if it operates properly now. So, be right back. Alright, test ride went good, but I did remember a comment about the steering on these, and this one has presented itself as being one of those with bad steering. The steering works, but let me see if I can keep myself out of the way enough but show you what it's doing. I'll try to duck down as best I can. Okay, are you ready? Alright, see how loose that is, right? I'm sure that it wasn't hard to see at all. What the problem is, where did I put that flashlight in my pocket? Is that a flashlight in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? What has happened is, yes, it has a cast iron axle, but they're still doing the typical MTD, pardon my French, but bullshit with a C that they've been doing for decades. And it's irritating. So yeah, that's wonderful. Cast iron axle. That axle's not going to wear out. It's going to be great. What about the supporting factor around that cast iron axle? Should it not also be robust? No. Why bother doing that? So I'm going to walk you out here. Let's go out here to the Troy-Bilt, because it's the exact same type of assembly. The same assembly I've been dealing with for the past 15 years. Okay? Alright, trailer, now you just stay put. Okay. Now, it's very easy to see here. This is just a cheap, thin, I mean really thin stamped steel axle. Okay? Welded together in a couple spots. Holes in it to drain stuff, but also lets grass in. Anyway, I digress. Where the issue is right here. Right there. That is the issue. The back plate on that Cub Cadet. The cast iron's fine, but this back plate is destroyed, which is allowing the entire axle on the Cub Cadet to flop like this, which is giving me horrendous steering capabilities. So what I'm planning on doing is ripping the front steering assembly out altogether. I suppose we can go back into the Cub Cadet. And I told Ms. Zippo she's going to have to use the Gravely first couple times to mow. I'm going to put the Cub Cadet on hold so I can get the trailer done, get it out of here. I've got to get the winch mounted and the light mounted and fix that fender. And that shouldn't take but a day or two. But we'll get that done and then we'll dive back into the Cub Cadet. But the Cub will also give... Putting the Cub on the back burner will also give me time to think on how I'm going to do it. We may end up putting the mill to use. But I'm actually going to make a collar and weld it to this piece right here. Oh, that didn't help. There, you can see it better there. This piece right here, this is the piece that has failed. I don't know if the camera will get down in there well enough for us to see what's happened, but at the top side it has split. Let's see if we can get down there far enough. Microphone, you're just in the way, buddy. Alright, I think we might be able to see. Now we can see the bottom portion of it. Can we get in there deep enough? Let me turn the wheels. There, can you see the top section? Completely separated from this piece of stamped steel. That's no thinner or no thicker than what it is on the Troy-Bilt out there. So I'm going to pull that piece out, rebuild that piece. I've got a little bit of slop in other areas on there, some plastic bushings on the ends of the steering shaft. This doesn't have a tie rod that goes across, it's just got two drag links. One drag link on each side that goes to a pie-shaped gear. But on the opposite ends of these rods, there's just some plastic bushings in there that need replaced. And the gear itself is flopping around a bit, so I may need to turn down the shoulder on the shoulder bolt that's holding that pie gear into place. But we're going to redo the steering so that it tracks straight. And how I discovered that, when I was driving backwards, it's got a point-to-point stop. There are stops. You can see the stop right there. There's another one on the other side. Well, if you pull it to the stop, the tire won't spin. It hits the deck because of how wore out the axle mount is. The axle's awesome, great. Thank you very much for a cast iron axle, MTD. I appreciate the cast iron axle very, very much. Now work on making a robust enough brace to hold that pivot in a position for more than 10 years. Engineered to fail. It's just that simple. See, even this mower bracket here, see how thick gauge that mower bracket is? Even that bracket is more robust than that flimsy little backing plate. Yes, bit of a rant. This is the plate right here. Can you see how thin that is? See, it's even all dented up. Why, MTD? Something else that I can do is to get a thicker piece of plate steel, drill and bolt it to this piece, and make sure that I've got a good, large, robust area. I can't see the forward one to see what kind of shape it's in, but I'm going to pull the whole thing out and take a look at it, and we're going to assess it from there. But as far as the engine and the electronics, we're golden. Everything's good. But the Cub Cadet just threw us another curveball. We'll get to that curveball, and I'll show you guys the repair that I do to it. Kind of half expected a little more to be wrong with it than just what was wrong with it, and it did not disappoint. Didn't disappoint at all. My gas cap's not on straight. There, that's better. So anyway, the Kohler Courage, I'll still get the oil changed and do all that stuff today. I'm going to set this thing back down on the ground, and like I say, I'm going to tackle that piece that has gone bad, which I assume is what people were talking about going bad. And that's just a design flaw with MTD that I truly believe is nothing short of engineered to fail. Just that simple. Engineered to fail. You've got a thicker piece of steel for holding the mower deck up, but you've got a cast iron axle with this flimsy steel that holds that axle? Come on, MTD. You guys need to take some lessons from some of the older manufacturers that have been at the game for a long time. Your price point's not going to go up just a few cents. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Alright, rant over. But we thought this was going to be the end of it. It's not the end of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I say, I will take you guys along for the ride on that part of it. It does mow fine, a little bit imbalanced, so I'm going to have to pull the blades and check the balance of the blades. I got some vibrations coming, but and that may just be the belt. The belt just may be stretched. So, but we'll see what's going on with that. But everything else is appears at this point and time to be okay. I still have to check the hydro fan, make sure the hydro fan is clean and clear and still in one piece. Possibly even just go ahead and do preventative maintenance and order a new hydro rear end fan, cooling fan, because I've heard tell that they do have a tendency to explode. But there we have it. The old Cub Cadet will move under its own power, and I can lot drive it until I get to that steering issue. So I guess you guys can stay tuned for that, but it's probably going to be about a week and a half out. It's your friendly neighborhood Zippo. If you like this one, click right down there. Of course, any advice is appreciated. Here's a random video, and over there is my latest upload. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.